Hello. Welcome back to Life After Plus One. I'm Leanne, your podcast host and your single parent mentor and coach. And today I want to talk about a topic which I guarantee everybody has thought about at least once whilst being a single parent. And that is, do the kids favor the other parent more than they favor me? But before I do dive into that, I want to just quickly bring forward a fun motivational challenge I'm doing purely on my Instagram page, and it's just in my stories. It's a 30-day, that was a bit of a tongue twister, mid-year challenge. Now it starts from the 1st of June, so it's this coming Sunday. And what I'm doing is I'll be putting up a motivational tip, a story, a quote, a caption, more like something that you can do, a step that you can do to help get you out of this mid-year slump. Now, every day for 30 days for the entire month of June, I'll be putting in my stories a new little challenge that you can do to take these small little steps to make you feel a little bit better in yourself, because it's quite common at this time of year, you're feeling a bit blah. You're feeling like, okay, nearly halfway through the year and I haven't done anything. So the idea of this challenge is just to kind of take those small little steps that help make the difference into achieving something bigger and better, because that's what it's about. It's not about taking these big, massive steps in one go. It's about taking these little steps gradually, which eventually lead into these bigger steps in achieving these bigger goals. So that's what this is about. And it's a free challenge, like I said, and it's posted every day in my stories from the 1st of June through to the 30th of June. So it's the whole 30 days, and it's only being posted in the Instagram story. So if you're not following me already and you want to take part, then jump onto my Instagram page at Life After Plus One and follow along. It will be a fun challenge. And also I recommend share your progress, share anything of where you're up to, what you're doing. I'll also be sharing a bit of what I'm doing. I'm going to do it along as well. And get any friends you have, because accountability is the best form of achieving things and a best form of actually getting things done. When you've got a bit of an accountability buddy, or if you don't have one, send me a message. This is what I've done today. This is what I'm up to. I'd love to hear what you guys are doing. So get on board, get your friends, shoot me a message, get me on board on where you're at, because I'd love to hear. And hopefully you guys make a bit of progress after these 30 days, because that's what it's about. So, and don't forget also at the end of the 30 days, share your progress. Share if you're feeling a bit better in yourself, because that's the goal. That's what I want here. I want you all to feel good in yourself. Get out of this glass half empty stage, this mid-year slump, and let's get better. Let's get feeling better in ourselves, I should say. So, on that note, I'm going to dive into today's episode, and let's talk about our little kiddies and why sometimes we feel like they favor the other parent more than they do us. Welcome to the Life After Plus One podcast, where we turn life's lemons into delightful lemonade. Get ready for inspiring stories, uplifting conversations, and all the tips and tricks to rock your single parent journey with style. I'm your host, Leanne, and it's time to embrace the adventure of Life After Plus One. So let's dive in. So like I said in the intro, it is something that everyone has gone through. If you have never thought this, then shoot me a message and tell me I am wrong. Because let's be honest, even when we're kids, we go through these phases where we think our parents favor our siblings more than they do us. And then when you become an adult, it's like the roles get reversed. We all of a sudden think our kids favor the other parent over us. And it all comes down to really how we feel about ourselves. And especially after you've gone through this breakup. Your breakup might be fairly recent. It might even be 5-10 years down the track, and you still might occasionally have this feeling. And maybe there is some truth behind it. Maybe the kids are favoring the other parent. But honestly, maybe there's not. Maybe it's just you in your head thinking the kids must like it better there. The kids seem to have more fun with the other parent. The kids seem to get more presents when they're there. It doesn't necessarily make the kids love the other parent more or want to be with them more. But it is a hard pill to swallow when you see that other parent that's doing better financially than you, that's maybe living in a nicer, bigger home than what you're in. Maybe they've got a nicer car, maybe they've got a better job and they're able to go on holidays and you're not able to afford that. And you just think, well, clearly the kids love them more because they're able to do more with them. It is a shitty situation to be in and it does mess with your head a little bit. But let's be real, kids do like getting gifts. And who doesn't? Even as adults, we do like getting gifts. But you've got to also keep your attention on, it's not just the gifts that the kids want. They want your love. They want your attention. They want your presence. And sometimes in the moment, it may feel like they're more excited to see the other parent. But you've also got to take into consideration, especially if you're the primary carer. If you're the primary carer and you've got the kids maybe for, say, 10 days and the other parent's got them, say, every second weekend, so for those 2 days in a fortnight, and they might be excited to see the other parent then because they've been with you for 12 days, and seeing someone for 2 days as opposed to 12 days is a big difference. So if the roles were reversed and they had the other parent for 12 days and had you for 2 days, they would probably be excited to see you and be pumped to spend time with you. And realistically, as much as we don't like to admit this, kids do like the fun parent. They like just maybe sitting on the devices all the time or not having a curfew when it comes to bedtime. There's always that one parent that's so much more lenient than the other parent. And it's easy to think, well, they must like them more because they let them do whatever they want. And in theory, that sounds easy and it sounds believable, and that's what the kids want. But the kids do want structure. Kids thrive on structure. Kids thrive on knowing what's happening, not just when life's up in a shambles and one night you're going to bed at 12 o'clock at night and you're sleeping in till 11, 12 o'clock in the day. That's not structure. The kids like to know what's happening. And in that moment, it might seem fun. But there's more to that than the kids actually want. They want a parent that is present in their life, not a parent that will just buy them gifts and then sit in another room like they're not even there and they all just sit on their devices. They want a parent that's going to turn up to sporting events. They want a parent that's actually going to sit with them at bedtime, maybe read them a book or talk to them, talk about problems that they're having, not just a parent that's just going to buy them things. Now, when you go through your breakup or when you've just broken up or however long it's been, you do get those feelings of maybe I'm not good enough, maybe there's something wrong with me, or this self-doubt comes into play. And that's when you start getting these questions about the kids. Oh, maybe they prefer going there. Maybe they don't love me as much. When you get in this headspace, it's very important, first of all, one, don't put that onto the kids because maybe the kids don't feel like that. It's just in your head. You're just thinking that because you're just got all these emotions going through you from the breakup. You just think, well, clearly the kids like the other parent more. Don't put that onto them. Don't put that pressure onto them because you don't want to start being that parent who starts taking your insecurities out on your kids. Maybe something's happened at home and they say no to you or they question something that you're doing and then you turn around and say, well, I bet you do it for dad or I bet you do this. Don't play those games with the kids because that's your issues, not the kids' issues. The kids may not think anything more or less of one parent. They might love you both equally, but because they do get excited seeing the other parent, it doesn't necessarily mean they love them more or want to be with them more. And it can be quite difficult to actually process the whole, especially when you're the primary carer, the whole concept of you're the structured parent, you're the routine parent, you're the parent that's got to do all the serious stuff like the homework, the school run, the after school sports activities, the doctor's appointments. You're doing all the serious stuff. And then when it comes around for the other parent to be on board, they don't have to worry about those responsibilities. They don't have to worry about the homework and the school drop off and the school pick up and set structured dinner times because they've got to get up early for school the next day. it's a fun schedule because it's the weekend. So it can easily mess with your head and think, oh, well, they're more fun, so the kids must like them more. But what you've got to do when you start getting in this headspace and you start thinking that the kids are favoring the other parent, most importantly, get that competition phase, get that competition mindset, I should say, out of your head. Because it's not about who's the better parent. Because ideally, what you want here, your ideal outcome here, is for the kids to love and be happy being at both parents' homes. That's what you want. Because when you start having that little conflict, that internal conflict, thinking they like the other parent more, you're going to start having little passive-aggressive outbursts, and you may not realize it. You might start making snarky comments. Oh, would you do this there? Or would you say this to dad? Or would you say that to mum? And even though you may think it's a joke, it's a little passive-aggressive hint that the kids do pick up on. And you don't want to start putting them in the middle of your fears and your worries, thinking that they like the other parent better. So get out of this competition mindset and start realizing that it's okay for the kids to love the other parent, and it's okay for them to love you as well, because that's what you want. You want your kids to love you both and be happy to go to both houses and to be at both houses, I should say. So say, for example, the kids have been at the other parent's house. They've just come home. Maybe it's Sunday night. They've come home from having a really fun weekend and they've told you about all the fun stuff that they've been doing. And inside, you're just screaming. You're just like, that's shit. That's not fair. Why do they get to do all this fun stuff? They've got so much more money. Of course they can buy them all these nice fun things. Of course they can buy them these nice shoes and these nice clothes and buy them all these nice little toys and knick-knacky stuff. What you've got to do is get out of that mindset of course they can do that. Of course they can do that. Because really, having another parent that buys things for your kids is kind of what you want, really, isn't it? It's nice that you've got another parent that's buying your kids things. Don't get jealous of that. Be happy. When your kids come home excited because the other parent has bought them something, don't get jealous and go, oh, or start thinking to yourself, of course they've done that. They've got more money. Be happy. Go, oh, wow, that's really cool. Make sure you look after them. Put them in a nice, safe spot. That's something you can really get a lot of use out of. Be happy for them. Because the kids pick up on that energy. If you're showing the kids jealous energy or showing that you're not interested when they get new stuff, that's the things that the kids don't want to be around. When you start giving off that energy, when you're showing anger and frustration towards the other parent because you're feeling a little jealous, the kids, yes, they pick up on that. And then that might even start pushing them away to want to spend more time with the other parent because they don't want to be around conflict. They don't want to be around drama. They don't want to be around that bitchy vibe comparing to the other parent. So when they get new stuff or when something fun has happened, show excitement for them. Show interest in their life and show that you want to know what they're doing when they're at the other parent's house. You don't want it to be when they come home, you're like, no, I don't want to hear about it. I don't want to know. I'm not interested. That's the attitude that you do not want to take on. Show interest in the kids' lives, even if it does rattle you a bit, even inside you're stewing thinking, shit, I've literally got $2 in my bank account and they've come home with these brand new Nikes and they've got this e-scooter and all these fun little gadgets at the other parent's house, and I am struggling to even put food on the table. But please don't take that out on the kids. That's not their fault. It's not them doing anything wrong. Of course they're going to get excited to get new toys. And as I said earlier, even us as adults, if someone just gave us something new and exciting that we've been wanting, of course we'd be happy about that. Who gives away a present? If someone's giving you something for free and it's something that you wanted, how many people would actually turn it away and say, oh, no, I don't need that. No, thank you. And especially as a kid, of course they're going to get excited about that. Share in that excitement with them. Even though you're burning on the inside and thinking how much you could get if you had that money that was used to purchase that item. Don't make it about that. Because the kids pick up on that energy. Show excitement, show interest, show that you care about what they're doing. And that's really what they want. They want to know that you care. They want to know that you're showing interest. When you keep shutting them down when they're talking about things, that's when they do start to favor the other parent, because oh, well, they're not interested. I won't talk to them. I'll talk to the other parent. That whole jealousy and competitive mind frame is something you need to really avoid and get out of when you're co-parenting. And as much as you may not like the other parent and as much as you may disagree with what they're doing, it's not the kid's fault. It's not the kid's issue. It's not the kid's problem. They're excited. Be excited for them. And I guarantee you, as the kids get older, they learn to understand situations more. So maybe you're feeling this way about the kids favoring the other parent because of the financial situation, because the other parent's got more money and you're struggling to make ends meet. You don't need to put that pressure onto the kids, but you can be real with them. Listen, I'm doing it very tight. Unfortunately, I can't afford to do these fun things like mum does or like dad does. But find your ways of having fun with them. It doesn't have to be about big, expensive gifts. It doesn't have to always be about just doing serious homework stuff and serious school run and doctor's appointments and sports activities. Find ways to make fun or involve yourself in their life. And it's not just about what you have in your bank account. That's not what kids need. And I promise you, as they get older, they see that more. They understand that, especially if one parent is struggling more financially than the other parent. They're not just going to turn their back on that parent going, they don't have money, I'm not interested in them. Kids don't do that. If anything, they're more inclined to want to support them more. Oh, they're doing it tough. I really want to help them out more. I'm going to look after them when I get older, or I'm going to be there as much as I can. Kids don't just turn their back on a parent because the other parent has more money than the other. They don't think like that. That's not what kids are about. And like I said, maybe in certain moments they get excited with flashy toys and new items and things that they've been wanting. But it's not what pushes them to favor one parent over the other. Kids always remember who showed up for them, who was present, who was there when they needed them, who was there at those sports games, who was there at all those school pickups and school drop-offs, who was there for those early mornings or those late nights when the kids needed them. The kids remember this stuff, and that's what's important. It's not about competing. It's not about being jealous of the other parent. All you need to focus on when you're feeling like this is just showing up the best you can as a parent when the kids are with you. And by doing that, it's not about talking about what they do at the other parent's house. It's not about talking about the big house that they may have or the nice gifts and the nice presents that they get. It's about enjoying your time together. And just remember, kids don't always know how to express what they're feeling or what they're thinking, or they don't know how to express their emotions like adults do. And let's be real, how many adults even know how to properly express their emotions? I would say a large portion. Look how many people out there getting ghosted and not communicating properly in relationships, and how many relationships are breaking up because adults are not communicating properly. So we can't expect our kids to communicate properly when so many adults don't. It's up to us as adults to teach our kids this. So what I'm getting at with that point is, try not to get yourself caught in a little bubble of thinking that the kids are favoring one parent or the kids aren't liking you as much because they're not saying it. Kids aren't going to say that, oh, I love you, or I want to be with you more, or I enjoy spending my time with you, or I love it when I'm here. Kids don't just randomly come out with these little comments. Maybe a few do every now and then, maybe the really emotionally switched on kids, but very few, if any, do. They don't just come out and say these things. So because they don't say it, it doesn't mean it's not what they think. They just don't know how to express these emotions. They don't know how to express how they feel. And really, kids just want the best. They just want mum and they just want dad. They just want their parents and they want to be loved. That's all the kids want. They just want to be loved. And it's easy for you to start feeling like the kids are favoring the other parent because you're just in a situation where You just want to be loved, and you may not have a new partner yet, and you're still feeling hurt and upset from the breakup, and you're feeling like the kids are having more fun at the other parent's house, and you're craving some love, you're craving some attention, you're craving some appreciation. But kids don't know how to just randomly give that. So because they're not saying it to you, it doesn't mean they don't love you as much. It doesn't mean they don't love you equally. And it's very rare for kids just to turn on one parent unless something serious has happened. And sadly, that does happen. There are times when parents do brainwash the kids to make them think that the other parent is bad, or the other parent is not good enough, or the other parent is not stepping up. That is shit. Because they're trying to hurt the other parent, but why would you do that? Not only are you hurting your parent, the other parent, you're also hurting your kids. By turning kids away from the other parent, it's making them think that the other parent doesn't love the kids as much. It's making the kids feel like the other parent doesn't want them. You're hurting your own kids by doing that. Now, I'm not saying people who are listening are doing that, but it does happen, and it's a really shit mentality. And sadly, it's a reflection of the other person that's doing it, not a reflection of you. And hopefully anyone that's listening to this is not in that bully tit-for-tat mind frame, and you're not on board that. It doesn't matter what the other parent is doing. Don't engage in that drama. All you need to focus on is showing up as the best version of you for your kids. And if you know that that is happening to you, that the other parent is trying to turn your kids against you, then keep it real. Keep it real with your kids. Have an age-appropriate conversation with them. Just say, listen, I'm sorry that they've said that to you. That's actually not what's happening. And I love you more than anything. Don't focus on what the other parent is doing. Focus on what you can do to make your time with the kids enjoyable. Because if you sit there and say, well, they're an asshole for saying that, they shouldn't say that. I mean, you're more than welcome to say they shouldn't say that, because they shouldn't. Now, really, what I'm getting at here is that it doesn't matter what they say, because they can say whatever they want. They could turn around and say, hey, they've robbed a bank. They've done this. They've done that. And you know it's not true. And the kids might come home and say, hey, they said you robbed a bank. And you can go, that's just stupid, isn't it? Don't give it energy. If you know it's not true, don't give it energy. Don't get so worked up that you get so angry and it causes conflict with you and the kids, and then it causes conflict with the kids and the other parent. Just don't engage. Don't engage. But I don't want to make this episode about that topic, but that's a whole nother topic on its own, when the other parent tries to start a whole smear campaign about one of the other co-parent, because that does happen. But what I was getting at is, when those things do happen, and in any situation, it's also when you're feeling like the kids are favoring the other parent, and you're feeling jealous and you're feeling left out. First of all, get your emotions in check. Is it just you? Are you feeling like you're not good enough? Are you feeling like you're still hurt and upset from the breakup, and you're just wanting some love and attention, and seeing the kids go makes you feel heartbroken, makes you feel like no one wants to be around you, makes you feel like you're not good enough? Because the kids going to the other parent's house is not a reflection of you as a person. It's not a reflection of you not being good enough or you not being loved. It's just a reflection of your co-parenting plan. So don't feel like the kids are not loving you because they're seeing the other parent, or they're not loving you as much. It's not about who loves who more. It's just as long as the kids love you, the kids are happy to be with you, the kids are happy to spend time with you. That's what you want it to be about. It's not a tally system, and don't make it that. Just keep your focus on having fun with the kids. Keep your focus on being real with the kids, and have those age-appropriate conversations. That's the best thing you can do with your kids. Talk to them about things. If you're feeling sad, if you're feeling upset, if you're feeling not good enough, talk to the kids. And some people think, oh, well, no, I can't talk to them about that. Why not? Because when you talk to your kids about how you're feeling, about where you're at, not only does it make them trust you more and make them want to open up, but it makes them realize, okay, This is how you handle problems. You talk about things. When you don't talk about anything at all with your kids, then this is how they grow up to be. They don't talk about issues. And it's a common trend. You see that all the time when people just sweep problems under the carpet. I can't talk about that. Don't want to talk about that. Don't want to get involved in that. Why not? You're an adult. You can approach any situation in life if you approach it in a mature way without directing anger or frustration. You can sit down and talk about it. If you're feeling a certain way with your kids and you're feeling like they're not showing you any appreciation, but they're just always excited to go to the other parent's house, then say, hey, listen, kids, do you know what? I love spending time with you, but it makes me feel a little bit upset that you never laugh and you never have fun with me. But soon as dad comes around, you're all excited and you're laughing and you're happy. What can we do to have this at home? What can we do to have this when you're with me? Because I want to see you laughing. I want to see you happy, because it makes me a little sad and it makes me feel a little bit let down that you're not enjoying yourself or you're not happy and excited when you're with me. But soon as dad comes around, you're all excited and you're happy. I want to see that side of you kids. I want to have some happy times with you guys. So what can we do? What can we do to bring some of that happiness when you're here all together with me? That's simple. It's talking about how you feel without getting angry, without getting nasty, without making the kids feel uncomfortable, because you don't want to make them feel bad because they're happy to see the other parent. You don't want to make them feel guilty about that, because then that makes things more awkward. And that's when they start keeping secrets. They start thinking, well, I can't tell them about what I did at dad's house, or I can't tell about what I did at mum's house because they're just going to get upset, or they're just going to get angry, or they're just going to get jealous. So just don't say anything. You don't want that. You don't want the kids to feel uncomfortable. You don't want the kids to feel like they can't talk to you. Be happy for them. Be excited for them. But if you want something different when they're with you, don't take out your anger based on what's happening when they're at the other parent's house. Talk to them about what's happening when they're at your house and what you can do to change that, what you can do to make that better. Say, hey, is there something you want to do this weekend when you're with me that we can all do and we can have fun together? Make a fun outing. Do something together that's not so serious. Break up your routine and just ask them what they want to do. Tell them, I want you guys to laugh when you're with me. I want to have fun with you guys. And even if it's something just as simple, this is what I did just this last weekend with me and my daughter. I pulled out my mattress and I put it on the lounge room floor. We actually did it for the 2 nights over the weekend. And we had a camp out in the lounge room. She loved it. I actually only wanted to do it for 1 night, but she sucked me in. She sucked me in for the 2 nights. And she loved it. And I thought it was nice too. It was nice just lying together on the lounge room floor. We had a little camp out. We watched TV together. And then we just crashed out there. So it's not necessarily about doing things that break your bank or doing things that are just ridiculous that you can't afford or you just can't physically do. Find something fun to do. Just break up your routine, break up that whole cycle, that Monday to Friday cycle, and just, or even on the weekend, and do something different. Mix it up. And having more of these fun times with the kids is what they want. That's what they look forward to. And when they do these things with you, they still going to be excited to go to the other parent's house. But these are the things they remember. They get excited about doing these things with you and then they want to do it more. But just remember, it's not about doing it to compete with the other parent. You don't want to one-up the other parent. You just want to make sure that the kids are having a good time with you. So that's one of the biggest things you can do when you're getting in that headspace of thinking that the kids like going to the other parents more, or they love the other parent more than they do you, or they enjoy spending time with them more. Because, yes, they do get in that phase of they're the fun parent. They don't have set routines, and maybe they do fun takeaway dinners and fun outings and no set bedtime routines. Of course, kids like that. But eventually it dies off if they're not getting anything more. Kids don't just want handouts. They don't just want physical stuff. They want a parent that's there. So just remember, when you're in thinking that the kids aren't loving you as much, ask yourself, do you have a genuine reason to worry about that? Is there something that's genuinely happened where the kids have said, I don't want to spend time with you? Because if they haven't, then there's a good chance you're overanalyzing it. And there's a good chance you're being way too hard on yourself. So, just to wrap it up, when you are feeling like this, What you need to focus on is 1, stop being jealous of the other parent. Stop trying to compete with the other parent. Be happy that the kids have 2 parents in their life, because not everyone does. Not all kids do. There are a lot of people out there that have just 1 parent. The other parent doesn't show up at all. The other parent doesn't pay child support. The other parent doesn't provide anything financially. So if you have 2 parents involved in your kids' lives, think of that as a good thing. Even though you don't like them, that's what you want. If they're a good influence, if they're a good role model, that's what you want for your kids. You want 2 parents in their life. And be happy for your kids when they get new things and they go to fun places. Talk about it with them. Say, oh, wow, that sounds really fun. I want to hear about it. Tell me about your day. Tell me about what happened. Because when you start showing that jealousy and that anger, they're not going to talk to you. They're not going to feel comfortable talking to you because you're going to get sad and upset. And they're like, oh, no, I don't want to make them sad. I don't want to make them upset. But when you're excited for them, they're excited to tell you their story. So don't be jealous of what's happening. Be happy for them. Involve yourself in their life, even if it is at the other parent's house. I mean, not involving yourself and calling them up all the time and finding what's happening. I mean, involving yourself when they come back to your house and ask them, how was it? What did you get up to? Did you do anything fun? And if it does really bother you that much and you're at a place where you just can't control it, you're still part of you is getting all jealous still, then don't ask those questions. Just say, hey, kids, glad you're back home. And then don't ask them. If you think it's going to really rattle you and you're still not at a place where you can process that well enough where you're not going to get jealous, then don't ask them those questions unless they talk about it. If they talk about it, fine. But if you're not going to be able to answer it in a way where you're not going to be able to control your emotions, then don't ask those questions. Don't put yourself in that position. And please don't try to compete with the other parent. You don't need to do that. And if the other parent's doing it, who cares? Let them. Because that's a childish game. You don't want to compete in these little childish games of who's better than who. No, don't play that. Because the idea of everything I do here at Life After +1 is getting yourself in a headspace where you're happy with where you're at. You're happy with your life. Even if you're single, maybe you're repartnered, maybe you've just gone through your breakup. It's about getting to a place where you are happy and you don't need to compete. You don't need to focus on your ex. You don't need to one-up them. You don't need to prove a point. You're happy with where you're at, no matter what they say, no matter what you do. And remember, it's not about changing what they do. Nothing you do can change what they do. It's all about learning to focus on how you handle the situation. And that goes exactly with this situation here that we're talking about when you feel like the kids are favoring the other parent. It's not about you telling the other parent to stop doing something. It's not about you telling them to stop buying them gifts. It's not about you telling them to stop doing certain things. You can't change the way they parent in their house unless the kids are in danger and something severe is happening. 100% yes, you have say. But if it's nothing bad that's happening, then you can't change the way they parent. All you can do is focus on you and focus on the way you parent and focus on what happens when the kids are with you. So if you're feeling not loved, not good enough, then that's something in you need to work on. And if you're wanting to have more fun with the kids and if you're wanting the kids to be more excited with you, then create that. Get out there and create some more fun with the kids. And if you are at a place that I just mentioned earlier where you're not comfortable to talk to the kids about certain things, you can't bring up your feelings with them, you don't know how to do that, you don't know how to approach it, you're not comfortable when the kids talk to you about things of what's happening at the other parent's place, then let's have a chat. Let's talk about these things. I have a one-on-one chat where we can really deep dive into things about what's going on. Where's all this stemming from? Or I have a quick Q&A session, which is fun. I love doing them. They just throw out some questions and we brainstorm some ways of how you can handle that in a better way. So you're not feeling as down. You're not feeling so glass half empty. You can go into these situations in a more positive mind frame. And that's what it's about. I don't necessarily sit here and tell you need to do this, but I do sit here and give you answers, but I help you find them. That's my job, to direct you to change your thoughts and to change your mindset to look at things from a more positive perspective. And sometimes you can't do that on your own. And I know what it's like as someone that's been single parenting for such a long time. And I've been in business for pretty much the entire time as a business owner, all on my own, the whole time I've been a single parent. And sometimes people say to me, oh, why don't you just do that? I'm like, you know what? That's such a good idea. And it's so common. It's just such a standard thing. But I didn't think of it, because sometimes when you don't have anyone to brainstorm ideas off or bounce ideas off, you don't even think about it. Even though it's such a standard or an easy concept, you're just like, oh, why didn't I think of that? Because you've got no one to talk to. You've got no one to get these things off your chest with. And sometimes social media isn't always the best place for that. So if you're wanting that, then let's have a chat, have a deep dive session, or have just a quick Q&A session where I can answer these questions for you and I can help you find that answer that's going to help you get through this in a more productive way. So those sessions are there. I've also got some group workshops which are available online. They're all in my show notes below as well. And don't forget the 30-day Instagram challenge, which starts on the 1st of June, completely free, all in my Instagram stories. Jump onto my Instagram page and follow me there. It's going to be fun 30 days of motivation. That's about it, guys. I really hope you got something from this episode, because it's not about the kids not loving you. It's not about the kids not seeing you as a better parent. It's about just wanting the kids to love you and enjoy spending time with you and not competing with the other parent. That's what you got to focus on. So thanks, guys. I really hope you got something from this episode. Feel free to share your thoughts, any opinions, anything that you took away from this episode. I'd love to hear. And if you're loving the show, feel free to give a review, and so we can get into more single parent ears, because that's how it gets out there in the podcast world. So thank you again. Until next week, I'll be in your ears then. Thank you for joining us on the Life After Plus One podcast. If you loved what you heard today and looking for some further support, then jump onto our website, lifeafterplusone.com. Plus, don't forget to check out our Instagram page for further resources and inspo. You can find all the links in the show notes. And remember, you're not alone on this path. I'm looking forward to seeing you on the next episode. And in the meantime, keep thriving, keep growing, and keep exploring your amazing life after plus one.